Hey YouTube, welcome back to New World Carpentry Solutions. And in this video, after doing the kitchen install, we also have some LVP flooring to install inside of this house. So I get to show you guys the full process of how I like to go about installing LVP. The first step to this process though is how to actually cut it. And this is a very simple process. You use a square and a razor blade. You score the front side, flip it over, and then if you bend it right there at that score mark, it snaps right there nice and easy. And for the install process, because these planks do not get cut in the middle of the field, the only way that you can actually stagger or do any of your cuts to change up your rows is either at the beginning or at the end of a row. So what I like to do is cut various starters. I forgot the brand of LVP flooring that I'm installing here, but this one is comes in 6-foot planks, so I can actually have 6 different rows, or 6 different patterns to my rows. So I can actually cut various starters. In this case, I'm going to have 5-foot starters, 4-foot starters, 3-foot, 2-foot, and 1-foot starters. That way my rows can actually vary going all the way across the floor. And then my install technique is what allows it to be completely randomized. I love planks that are longer than 4-foot because 4-foot only leaves you with 4 different patterns that you can implement. With a 6-foot plank, it gives you more randomization and allows your floors to look a lot better in the finished product. So what I'm doing now though is actually batching out all of my starters, my 4s, 5s, 2s, and 1s, etc. After that though, we go into the install, and that's where things get a little bit more interesting because that's where you really get the chance to really randomize them. Some people just actually stagger or stair step their planks, going from a 6-foot to a 5-foot, 4-foot, 3-foot, and so on. The problem with that though is that you actually can see like a stair step pattern going throughout the floor, then it repeats. What I like to do is make it completely random. So I might use a 4-foot plank, then a 1-foot plank, then a 3-foot, then a 2, then a 5, and then a 6, or a 6, then a 5. They kind of have the floor go up and down in lengths, which keeps the pattern or the stagger going across the floor completely random. You guys will get to see that once I actually do a full panorama around the whole entire floor. But during the install process, you guys just get to see how I decide on the planks that I use. And again, once I start a pattern, let's say I use a 1-foot plank all the way up against the wall, I will wait until I use a full 6 rows of planks before I repeat a 1-foot piece, just to make sure the patterns don't repeat. And in this case, I believe I started off with a 4-foot plank, and then I threw a full 6-foot plank directly attached to it. And again, it makes it a little bit more hard for the install because when you do the stair step method, you can actually lay out all 6 rows and keep going. But in this case, you have to actually continue your first row because your first plank is shorter than your second. So it makes it a little bit more back and forth, but if you have somebody else laying the floors with you, they can keep the rows going while you start off with your patterns. And I like to, again, make sure the patterns are as random as possible. So I might not do a 4-foot then a 3-foot. I might not do a 4-foot then a 2-foot. I might want a 4-foot then a 6-foot, so the planks now are longer. Then I might go all the way down to I think I go to a 3-foot right after the 5. That way, again, the floors are drastically changing their lengths and their stagger. That makes it look a lot crisper as you go out throughout the floor, because the LVP floor is just meant to mimic or imitate a natural hardwood floor, and a lot of hardwood floors are random lengths and random widths. So if you can actually create the illusion that your planks are actually randomized more so than a standard stair step pattern, your floors come out looking extremely crisp. I'm using spacers along the wall, and what I like to do though is actually get my first 3 or 4 planks or 3 or 4 rows set up, and then I actually square it off to the wall. But don't worry, I did make sure that throughout this house, I always find the straightest wall, namely an exterior wall, pop a line into the middle, make sure that I don't have any wood rips up against the walls or along hallways. I do a little bit of math before I actually go into laying my first plank, and I also ensure that the wall that I'm starting off of is perfectly straight and square to the rest of the house. That way I know my planks, as I run them off of that wall, I'm not gonna get them going diagonally across the hallway or something crazy. It's never that catastrophic or that kind of large variance, but these are things that you want to check before you go into your install. Another great tip that I love to use is to make my own beat blocks for whenever you have to actually tap the planks into each other. You'll see that sitting right here off to the left of my leg. That is essentially just a scrap piece of the old planks that I end up cutting so I can actually use it as a beat block. Since it already has the tongues and grooves from the original floor planks, they fit nicely inside of the old grooves of the new planks. And you can just tap it with your hammer versus those little beat blocks. The problem with the beat blocks is if you tap it and it bounces off of the plank, you might actually damage or break the tongues on the planks that you're installing. So by having a piece of flooring that actually fits down into the groove and then tapping on that, you avoid that issue of having any of your planks break on you during your install. And I was blessed because these ones also are the easy lock method. So the long side actually locks into, you tip it up at like a 35 or 40 degree angle, and it locks into the longer side of the planks. But for the shorter side, all you have to do is tap it directly down and it snaps in. And then it's held in place by the plank that then butts up to it on the front side. And that's what makes all this interlocking system work. If you guys have any more questions, definitely let me know down in the comments. Leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.